Hey guys, my name is Dice Rollin'. 2021 provided a lot of horror movies that people were anxiously awaiting, especially since quite a few were delayed due to the pandemic. And this year, there's a chance we're going to see even more, including some revivals and continuations of much beloved franchises. Before we dive into this year though, I put all the horror movies that I saw that were released last year into a list, and I've ranked them from worst to best. Let's start off at the bottom of the list with Benny Loves You. Jack is a middle-aged man still living with his parents, until on his birthday they die, which spurs him to put his life together and start acting like an adult. However, one of his most beloved childhood toys comes to life and begins wreaking havoc. As I said in my review, this movie is ridiculous, as it should be, but I felt the humor just missed the mark for me. I wasn't a fan of the tone of it, and it was trying to do too many things at once with the story. I get what they were aiming for with it, but not for me. Though I know a lot of people really liked it, so...
Play with Benny.
In the second to last spot is Black Friday. As the title suggests, it's Thanksgiving night and a group of employees at a toy store are dealing with a crowd of holiday shoppers. But they discover that some of them are infected with a parasite that turns them into zombies. I had a feeling about this one going into it, and I was essentially proven right. It had the right idea as far as tone and humor, but it could have done more. I'm sure a number of people, myself included, decided to watch this because Bruce Campbell and Devon Sawa. Unfortunately, Mr. Campbell wasn't truly given a chance to shine. Unfortunately, this movie pretty quickly fell into the meh category for me.
Black Friday is over!
Next is Willy's Wonderland. A man is given a job as a janitor at a dilapidated family-friendly restaurant. The problem is that all the mascot animatronics are alive and murderous. So essentially what we have here is Nicolas Cage and Five Nights at Freddy's. I know that the creators have said, no, this doesn't have anything to do with FNAF. To which I say, yeah, bullshit. It's a fun film, and you receive just as much insanity as you expect from the Cage versus bloodthirsty animatronics. I think the plot lacks here and there though, and some of the CGI is not very good. But, you know, it's not bad. My dad actually insisted on seeing this movie after he watched my review for it, if that says anything.
He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
In spot number 10, we have Jakob's wife. The wife of a pastor lives an unsatisfying life until a vampire bites her. She then begins transforming into one of the undead, while trying to keep it a secret. While her husband wants to change her back, she's not so sure she wants to return to her old life. This stars Barbara Crampton. Need I say more? This is a film that Mrs. Crampton was pushing for quite a while, and I can see why. It has a lot of creative elements and plot. It's essentially telling two stories simultaneously, and holds a deeper meaning than just vampires run amok. It's a fun watch, if for nothing else but to see some familiar faces in horror.
I feel more alive than I have in years.
Next is The Conjuring-The Devil Made Me Do It. Ed and Lorraine Warren return, this time to combat a deadly demonic possession that would lead to one of the most notorious paranormal cases in US history, suspending some disbelief in the Conjuring movies and the legitimacy of what they're based on. I'm one of the people that does find some amount of enjoyment out of this franchise, and I feel like this movie is a solid addition to the series. Not my favorite Conjuring movie, but it was good. I really don't know that much about the real-life events and case that it's based off of, so I can't really speak on that currently. It was cool to see Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga back again.
I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
For number 8, I have Psycho Goreman. After accidentally releasing a powerful alien, two siblings live every child's dream. True chaos is unleashed when more aliens arrive to assassinate their new alien friend. I feel like this is what happens when 90s kids who loved Power Rangers grow up and start making movies. This is a crazy movie with a ton of creativity. It doesn't skimp on the gore and practical effects either. It seems that people either love or hate this. I find myself to be in the middle, more or less. I enjoyed it, but I can't say that I adore it.
I will bathe in your blood.
Don't worry.
Be worried.
At number 7 is Malignant. A woman begins having terrifying visions after being subjected to severe trauma. In an attempt to uncover why she's seeing these horrifying things, she finds a truth about herself she couldn't have imagined. I didn't have particularly high hopes for this one when I went into it. I had heard that many people quite liked it, and not much else. I thought I had figured out where it was going at one point, but it surprised me with the twist it had.
I'm seeing murders.
as they're happening.
Next is a big one for the horror community, and that is Halloween Kills. Picking up right after the events of Halloween 2018, we see that both Laurie and Michael have survived. While Michael continues his bloodshed, the Strode family and residents of Haddonfield come together to try to stop him once and for all. My family and I watched Halloween 2018 on Halloween last year for the first time. Don't come for me now. Don't do that. So I watched Halloween Kills the following day. I figured if I didn't watch this one sometime in the same year, then the mob was gonna be after me. I thought it was interesting and continued off of 2018 rather well, keeping in mind that I don't have a lot invested in the Halloween franchise. I'm curious to see how things end in Halloween Ends.
He's coming for me, but I'm coming for him.
For spot number 5, I have Censor. A film censor in the 1980s comes across a horror movie that she believes stars her sister, who's been missing for years. So she tries to remember what had happened leading up to her sister's disappearance, and find the actress that she believes is her sister. One of the reasons why I chose to watch this movie is because I liked the premise, and the fact that it's supposed to take place in the 80s. As some of you may know, that's my favorite decade, especially for horror movies. It was cool to see a sort of perspective of the people who work for the MPAA during that time, and that look into horror movies at the time. I got some mild giallo vibes from it, and I enjoyed how it was edited.
You'd be surprised what the human brain can edit out when it can't handle the truth.
Next is the first of a trilogy that I quite enjoyed last year, Fear Street, 1994. Based from R.L. Stine's book series of the same name, strange and deadly events are starting to unfold in Shadyside, and it's up to a group of high schoolers to figure out why before it's too late. I was quite curious to see what was created from Stine's work, and the concept that each part takes place in a different year, yet they're connected, was intriguing as well. There's also the fact that 1994 is when I was born. So added bit of intrigue. I enjoyed the slasher style it had and the characters involved. There's a lot of attention paid to the 90s here, and how it looked and felt. However, this is not my favorite of the trilogy.
You can't stop it.
In the number 3 spot is Last Night in Soho. A young woman goes to London to pursue her dream of becoming a fashion designer. While there, she finds that she's able to see events from the 60s pertaining to another young woman. What first seems to be a dream life begins to fall apart with each vision. The cinematography and lighting here is really cool to look at. I can definitely see the Giallo and Argento influence. The story was also very interesting and caught me a little off guard, in a good way. I enjoyed the characters and the mystery of it.
Do you believe in ghosts?
For the second best movie of 2021, Fear Street, 1978, the second installment in the Fear Street trilogy. Events that took place in 1978 during the Camp Nightwing massacre are revealed, as well as how they connect to what's happening in 1994. Another film heavily influenced by slasher movies, especially summer camp set ones. I know that this is usually the favorite for a lot of people out of the trilogy. I quite enjoyed Sadie Sink in this, and it did a good job of portraying the late 70s. There's a lot of nods to Friday the 13th as well. I did kinda see the twist at the end coming, but I don't feel that detracted from the plot.
We can end this.
And last, in my number 1 spot, Fear Street, 1666. The last film in the Fear Street trilogy goes all the way back to the beginning of The Curse of Shadyside. Here we learn the truth of what happened to Sarah Fear and what brought about the curse. This movie really brought things full circle for the trilogy and pulled other emotions into things. I quite liked the whole witch trial era vibe that it had, as well as what happened after the truth was found out. I thought it brought good closure to the stories and for the characters.
The truth will follow you.
So, those were 2021 horror movies I've seen ranked. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and tell me what 2021 movies you saw, which ones you thought were the best or the worst. You can support the channel through my Patreon, where you would get exclusive and early access to videos like this. Also, don't forget to share this video to help the channel grow. See you later.